So welcome everyone. My name is Nadi Hanna, and this is class 2 of Drawing Sacred Geometry. And today, so exciting, we are going to be drawing Metatron's cube, one of my favorites. I'm so excited to get into it. I want to do a few things. I want to give a little pause, a little meditation, a couple of breaths to help us drop in together. And then I want to do check-ins and see if anybody was able to draw this week and everybody's voice. And that is reminding me, Janice, thank you. If we could, everyone go on mute so that we can have a nice clean recording for those of us who are not here right now. And a big welcome to all of you watching this a little later. And we'll do the shares, and then we'll get into some information, and then we will get into drawing. So very exciting. Let's give ourselves a moment. I want to encourage you to close your eyes and turn your attention inward and begin to focus on your breath, taking some nice deep breaths in through your nose, down to your belly, and exhaling through your mouth. And deepening your awareness and connection to this present moment. Every breath, relaxing, releasing, and activating. Simultaneous, bringing yourself more alive as well as releasing, connecting with yourself more deeply. Allowing yourself to sink into the surface, supporting you. And connecting with all the parts of you, your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, your energy body. Taking a little inventory of how you are arriving today and making the spaciousness of choice for how you would like to proceed for these next 2 hours. Maybe feeling into an energy of receptivity and expansiveness and openness. Connecting with the higher intelligence of you that brought you here today, opening to the perfect amount of information, taking a nice deep breath into the full potential of the information ahead. A nice deep breath into your heart, feeling a sense of gratitude for being here. Here in this body, here online, here on this planet, here in this solar system, here in this galaxy, and here, being here in a whole universe of existence, and how extraordinary this moment is and what a miracle. Breathe into your heart, give a big moment of thanks, and as you're ready, come on back together to our visual Zoom room. Such a miracle, isn't it? Such a funny happenstance that we even exist, and then we're here in this class together remembering that. So I'm just futzing around with my audio, my video. I'll have a microphone, I think, by next time. But we're in that hour where it's just getting dark here, and it all gets a little wonky. So I'm thrilled to be here with you all, and I would love to go around and just hear everyone's voice, even if it's just to say, I barely showed up today. I did not think about any of this at all during the week. Or if you have drawings and adventures and insights and reflections, all is welcome. And I would love to open the floor for whoever would like to start us off. More than welcome to join in. Jump in.
Okay.
Gabby's up. Hi there.
Yay!
We got your
I
full
tr-
screen today.
I
Yay.
know. I don't know what happened. It just came back. Yeah, I tried to draw a little bit this week. Whoa!
Oh God.
It's my vision board that's empty right now.
Oh,
I've
oh,
tried to
okay.
draw this week. The like multiple pointed thing from that we
Uh-huh.
got from the dots was kind of challenging because I was having a hard time getting it lined up. So I just did the sunflower twice and colored it in. Um, and that has been my week. I was dog sitting, so I had this like super sweet cocker spaniel that was super hyper and happy the whole week, and it was amazing. Um,
Oh,
and
fun.
finding moments to draw throughout that was really enlivening.
Wow. And yet with all of that, you managed to draw two sunflowers. And I love how you said
Yeah,
I was only able to draw that. But I mean that's remarkable.
yeah.
But you're looking, hang on one second. Sorry about that. My cat is being very okay. So you got him?
I do. I
Okay,
got
great. Let me
this
spotlight
one.
you. Oh wow, hang on, let me spotlight you. Oh, why didn't it work? Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh, beautiful.
And then,
Wow, but I didn't know you colored them in too. That is a full time commitment because once you lock
yeah.
in the pattern, yeah, that's beautiful.
Well, I'm not used to spending time alone. I don't have my own apartment or anything. I never have. I've just always had roommates. So the second that I'm alone, I'm like, oh, fuck. What do I do? So I just spent, probably took 2 days.
Wow, yeah, yeah, that's about right.
Um,
Beautiful.
yeah, on and off.
Mhm.
And I really pushed hard with the colored pencils. It's colored pencil.
Wow, that
Um,
is some solid because it's so shiny. That is solid pencil work.
yeah.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
this one came out even. I really liked how everything is equal when doing it in the way that you said for clockwise.
Right,
But
right.
that was really key to know.
Hmm,
So I
hmm.
did that one and then
Wow.
that one, which I did my
Wow. Oh, bring that one up a little bit. So beautiful. Oh, wow. Oh, Zabby, just brilliant. Really strong, really just strong color, strong pencil, nice shape. Wow.
Thanks.
Wow, wow. Yeah. So you like it? Did it help with managing whatever the space between people? Was it a nice structure to anchor in?
Yeah, I did. I really enjoyed it. And it was hard for me to get back into it. I was like, like it's my notebooks over there. Like, I have all these things I want to do. I'm finally alone.
Yeah.
But then it came down to it. I was like, I might as well just practice some sacred geometry. This is my time to do that. And so I think it's going to get me more in the groove
Mhm.
of practicing. Because this time around, even though I've already taken this class, I'm taking it again because I didn't practice last time. So
You had
now
so
I
much
really
going on
practice.
though. Yeah, but you were moving. I mean, you had so much going on. It always amazed me that you were even showing up. So that's great that this is the practice round. Um, and I don't want to skim past that moment of like actually going to the notebook and picking it up, right? Like in yoga, they say the hardest thing is actually getting on the mat, right? That
Just showing up.
inertia and that obstacle but it's not just geometry or yoga, it's like everything. It's like that is such a huge action to take, and the ripples of you know motivation and momentum in life. I think that it's really, we
Yeah,
can extrapolate from that. Really well done. That's impressive.
thank
I didn't
you.
want to blow
Thank
past that.
you.
Yeah.
Nice. Thanks.
Thank you. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
share. I'm going to go back on mute now.
Okay, great. And I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing, is it Rieko? Welcome, Rieko.
Yes.
Welcome. Yes, good to see you. You made it. It's wonderful. Glad
Yeah.
that you
Sorry, I'm late.
oh no, perfect timing. We're just going around and we're doing check-ins, and we're talking about if there's if we drew over the week or if we are just happy to be
Oh,
arriving in
there.
wild weeks. And anybody would like to follow up that with Zabby after Zabby, um, let us know how you're doing.
I'll jump in.
Oh, hi. Okay, July. Yay.
Yes.
Hi.
So first, I have a question, kind of. So the seed that you showed us, that's the flower of life, right? Because I was drawing it over and over again. I'm like, wait, that's the flower of life, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you went you built towards the flower. You've got a narrow flower. You're absolutely correct. That is the flower of life. You need one or two more rows on the sides, on the two sides.
Yeah, you keep going. Oh, so does the flower of life have a specific amount of surrounding circles?
Yes, it has. You've got the seed, and then you've got another ring, and another ring, and another ring, right? So it's actually 4 full rings. So you've got a skinny rectangular flower, and you want to fill it out with the hexagon. Make sure the even sides, you have 6 even sides. But very impressive. You went all the way. You're like, I'm not stopping.
Yeah, no, what's really amazing is that the pattern as you're creating it, it's inviting you to keep going. It just keeps wanting you to keep creating, which is, I mean, how the universe works, which is really amazing to see that. It's just, you draw one thing and then here's another thing, and then it just never ends. I mean, you could just fill a whole room with it and just keep going.
Yeah, totally.
So another thing to show also, I'm not sure what I did, but I can only see myself really big, which is really creepy. I only see my face.
Oh, you can make it into gallery view, but before you do that, can you just hold that up again? That was so brilliant. Flash. Yeah, look at that. Oh, it's kind of, yeah. Oh, that's just exquisite. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that's so fun because it is an infinitely fractalizing repeating pattern. You can just go on and on. It's super cool. Yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to show, let me see, how do I close this? Is I was looking at your PDFs, and because last week we did the what is it called, the dodecahedron, and then we did the sunflower, and we used the points from the sunflower to make the dodecahedron.
Yeah.
So I was looking at your PDF, and just to kind of mentally understand what is the relationship between them. I'm putting a picture there so you guys can see it.
I don't know if I have you screen share. I spotlighted you, which is part of why you were so big. But I don't think you have screen share capabilities.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, I usually have to do that, and this might be like a private PCC. You have to set that ahead of time, I think, and I haven't, so it's only on your screen.
She put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat so you guys can click on it and look at it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's in chat.
Oh,
gorgeous.
Yeah. So yeah, you can put it in the chat, and then that's the one that I wanted you to share. That is amazing because you can see the relationship of both of them, right? That's what you were looking for, and you doubled it up. And isn't it amazing?
Oh yeah, you could just stare at it forever. It's the way that I'm seeing the lines. It's really amazing.
Yeah. Can everybody see that in the chat? You can open that. You can click on it. Yeah, that is just exquisite. I used to do it where we would do the sunflower on one side, poke the holes, and then do the 12 pointed on the other side. So you got that inner relationship between the two. And I like it. It's like sort of this partnership of the masculine and the feminine, the circles and the lines. But they do line up just like that. Isn't that wild? Yeah. Oh, that is so exciting. And just to clarify, this is a dodecagon, which is a 12-sided polygon, and the dodecahedron is a 12-sided pentagonal shape that is one of the Platonic solids that we're going to talk about today. Wow, singing about them. Okay, so just a slight difference. But that is extraordinary, and I love how you went in. You took them to the next level. So thank you. Fabulous. All right, awesome. Who would like to go next? Make sure we hear from everybody. Yeah, Reiko.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Nice to meet you.
So
Welcome.
I did this.
All right. Hang on one second. All right. The dodecagon. Yes.
The color.
Yeah. Nice.
But I was a little frustrated. This part is not go to the center.
Mhm.
So I remade it and cheated, and then I did this perfectly, and now I'm really satisfied.
Oh, wow. Lined it up. Nice. Whew. That isn't it satisfying?
It was really fun.
Yeah. Oh, welcome. Well, and you pulled that off by yourself watching the video. So that is wonderful. Well done. I like the first one had color in it, right? The different lines.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Because if I use a color, I could see clearly which lines goes, and then when you use a color, it's really interesting. Every single line you draw, and kind of a so first one you're drawing 11, but second one is not 11. Third one is not 11. So it's getting, just less number, less number, less number. So it was really fun.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. And I'm glad you made it to class. And welcome, welcome. All right. Who would like to go next? Don't worry. This is built into the class. We're not taking up too much time. All right. Everybody at once.
I can join in.
There she is. Hi there.
Hello, everyone. I did about 6 drawings because I love my drawings, and it was kind of funny. I had to wrestle with my ego a little bit. I tried everything. I started with just the pencils, and that goes really well for me. But then my ego popped in and said, "Oh, that's kind of boring. Why don't you try, Amy always used pens. Why don't you try pens?" Well, that didn't work so well. So anyway, it was a lot of fun, and I finally ended up. I don't usually like to color, but I wanted to experience everything, so I'll just show.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
Wow.
just show my coloring.
Oh, wow. So, oh my gosh, it has such an energy to it. It just has this softness that just matches you. It's so lovely.
But going back, I found that I really like the flow of just drawing.
Mm.
I'm leaning towards, I like circles a little bit more than the straight lines, but it was a great experience. And then kind of a side note, it kind of reminded me, I got back into some of the other things that we'll probably cover. I started listening to my frequencies on my dog walks. And so it's just been very enlightening. So thank you.
Nice. Oh, you're just full immersion. You're back in. That's so
Yep.
great.
Yep.
Oh, I love it. Does it feel, do you notice a difference coming in this time, either, familiarity, or do you feel like it's next level?
It is so centering, and it's so calming too, that I needed it. I needed to come visit with you again. I needed to draw. I needed the interaction. I needed to meet everyone in class. So I thrive in more of a group setting than trying to motivate myself to draw solo.
Yeah. It's so powerful when you're like, oh, there's a class I got to show up for. Yeah, totally. Totally. Ah, so great. Thank you so much. All right. Who's jumping in next? One more. Greta, I see you. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, I just will admit I'm here, but I didn't do anything. I did other things, but I didn't do I did other things.
Awesome.
So it was fine.
Yeah.
I can show you one of the things I did.
Yeah, sure. Hang on. Hang on. All right, here we go. Wow, what's happening?
It's a part of a poem.
Wow. That's
So,
extraordinary.
yeah, so I did that and some
Wow.
other stuff. So
That
anyway.
looks like its own drawing technique. It's like almost Japanese caricature.
Yeah,
But-
testing pens.
Oh, testing pens. Okay.
And I found last week when I used a mechanical pencil,
Mhm.
and it's easier when you draw the lines to get the points to line up, because the lead is just narrower.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, no pun intended. Sharpening, yeah, I have found lately, lots and lots of sharpening. So even a mechanical pencil is really a good idea. So thank you for that. That's brilliant. Glad you made it. Nice to have you. Yeah. All right. A few more. Joy's going for it. I can see.
I could go next.
All right. Hi, Janice.
Hi, everybody. I'm here. I was out of town until yesterday late afternoon, and I had every intention to sit down today and do something, but by the time I got through everything I needed to do, I'm here.
Well done.
That's about all I can say.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I made it. I showed up. That's what I say about my incarnation. I showed up. That's what I got. Glad you made it. Welcome back, and it's great to have you here. All right. Who's up next?
Okay, I'll go.
All right, Joyce.
I don't have any pretty things to show. So I was being quiet. I did finally get the same thing that we did. I haven't colored it or anything else. So I did a couple of one of each of those, and then I tried it again a couple days later and I botched it. I couldn't do it. And I got frustrated, so I didn't continue it. One of the things that is challenging for me is making the equipment work, particularly the compass, holding it and not having it wiggle and all that. So I assume that that gets better as we have more practice.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And having paper not squish around. I mean, things like they're silly things, but when we're doing this precise stuff, it's really important to have everything hold still and behave.
It really does take practice. It's exactly right. And you know, if turning the compass is really irritating, you know, try turning the paper. It's a lot smoother when you're first kind of learning and getting the feel of things. So do not hesitate to use that technique. Get a little bit more predictable versus the whole, you know, twisty part. So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
and it's really really normal. This is a brand new strange apparatus, you know. So lovely to hear that you drew. I'm so excited about that. I'm glad you're here.
Good.
All right. Who's up next? We've got a cat. Fabulous. We've got Susan and Joni. And I think that's it so far. All right. Rock, paper, scissors. Susan's up.
I didn't do anything either, so that's why I'm quiet. So at least I'm here. That's something.
At least you're here. Oh, absolutely.
And hi, Rieko.
All right. Great to have you here. It really is. It's an accomplishment. This world, you know, keeping up with life is so glad you're here. And the other thing I want to say is it doesn't necessarily have to be drawing, right? Like it could be, oh, I found a book, or oh, I saw the geometry somewhere. Oh, I started to realize that it's everywhere. You know, just anything of connecting the dots, because the geometry is working in our field, you know, very invisibly behind the scenes. Doesn't necessarily have to be a drawing. So just so you know that, like, it can happen on a lot of different, on the whole spectrum. All right, Joni, take us home. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. So I didn't do much after the class until maybe Monday. I put some stuff down on. I have these folding. Well, it's like this. These folding canvases that you just whip up together, and then so I started another one with these on it in a smaller form. But all I did was get some drawing, you know, some pencils down, and it's in another room and not here with me. I didn't think to bring it. I did enjoy sharing the math with my son and husband, who are, you know, are leaning that way. My 9-year-old son loves the patterns in math and things like that. So we very much enjoyed looking at the slides related to numbers. So, and then while everyone was talking, I started coloring in my flower here. So just keep my hands busy.
Oh, so nice. You know, it's so interesting because a couple of us have you start out going, well, I just did a couple of this. It's remarkable to put the pencil to the paper. I mean, there are so many forces in this world. Like even when you just sit down, at least for 5 minutes for me, there's maybe longer. There's this whole voice of like, oh, you should be doing something. That's like, you know, the shoulds and the productivity and all of the voices that don't support creativity, just like the beingness rather than the doing. You know, and so it really is remarkable that, you know, that you're showing up, that you signed up for this class, you even got to drawing, you know, not to, I just don't want to breeze past all of that. And I actually have something to share as well, because I'm starting this weekend, I'm launching my fully dedicated crop circle drawing class, right? Like I love the crop circles. It's usually a mix of talking about them and drawing them, but this is for like the hardcores, and we just want to go in and draw. So I'm starting off pretty strong, and I'll show you. I'll do a little screen share so you can see the one. So this is the one we're gonna draw. Which I was looking at my wall of I have a montage of crop circles, and I was like, which one do I want to do? And for whatever reason, oh, I wanted to just do this. I was just drawn to this one. So it's basically like, I only have 3 sides of it. It's basically back engineering, to figure out how to do it. And I just love this thing so much. It is so, just multidimensional, and you can just really trip out on it. So it's always, now I have to sequence it for everybody. I can't even figure out how I did it. So anyway, that's really fun. I'm looking forward to that class, because so much of the crop circles, they're just based in geometry, right? So once you've got the fundamental structure, I mean, you can see this is, it's a hexagon, right? So it's based in the seed. You just draw a huge seed, and then you get the hexagon going, you get the outer and the inner, and it's just, it's impossible to recognize at the beginning of this series that the seed of life literally gives you the coordinates for every single geometry known to us, right? It is the fundamental structure of space-time, and everything comes from it. Even no matter how complex you want to get with the geometry, you're going to start with that foundation. And so I love it because, no matter how much I'm spinning out or just feeling ungrounded, kind of Zabby started us off talking about like just grounding in the structure, right? The forms, and they're always going to be the same, which is so comforting to me. So Joy, I want a cup of tea too. That just looks really good. I'm ready. Do we have any other? Yeah, Greta.
Would you send the fiber coney thing with the numbers in it, and then the 2 kind of pyramid grids with the numbers? I was talking with my grandson about the geometry, and they're all kind of into numbers, and that would be a really interesting thing to look at all the ways that the numbers work.
Okay, those 3 slides that were like blue and black.
Yeah.
And then what was the first one? Something about a cone?
Like you had one of a picture where you had the numbers by the different
oh yeah, the Fibonacci.
Yeah, so that you can kind of see how the Fibonacci, how the pyramid of the numbers goes into the diagram.
Got it. I will send those to you. Yes.
Super. Thank you.
If I forget, which I don't think I will, but if I forget, just shoot me an email, and we'll just make sure you get them. If
Okay,
everybody's
thanks.
getting the PDFs, I think we've got it sorted through so that it's this time. Hopefully you'll get them tonight. I mean, I send them out the night of or the day after, but did everybody ultimately get it? And now you know where to get them and how to. Okay, great, because I just want to make sure y'all can draw. It's so frustrating to have obstacles to that. And I finally resequenced it so that it's not a Google Drive anymore. I didn't even know why that was happening, and I figured it out, and honestly that's liberated years of that struggle. So thank you all for helping me out with that process. And did somebody just have a question? A screenshot? What was that? Okay, picture from the Zoom recording. So okay, and Rieko, I know that we were chatting about getting you the PDF, so we did get that sort of last minute. Okay, thoughts, needs, questions before we jump into Metatron's cube? Just my favorite. So satisfying, so fun. All right. Okay, here we go. All right. So it looks fairly remarkable from the beginning, right? And we're gonna draw this, and every class it's kind of like, oh no, it looks really, really complex, but you just do it step by step. And at the end of the class, you'll just be amazed that you've got this shape. And Metatron's cube, like, what is that name about? We're gonna break it down. And this geometry is so powerfully activating in so many ways, and we're gonna try to cover most of them. So the seed of life. This is a whole like flow chart of, seeing where we start with the origins of the seed and go into many different iterations of the flower of life, right? And this is kind of where July started us off. It's like there are a lot of different things that are called the flower of life, right? You have this eightfold geometry here that's called the flower. It's also called the fruit sometimes. There's a couple things called the fruit of life. All of this originating in this germ, in this birthing of life, with this geometry starting in and developing into this full expression of the flower. There's the fruit of life, the tree of life. There's just so much life. So all of these things on the top right are called the flower of life, even though they look different, right? You see this one a lot here. I hope y'all can see my cursor. This one, it's the simple version of the flower of life. And then this is also called the flower of life. You see this one a lot with the circle around it, the ring, right? That ring is called the zona pellucida, and it's also the Latin name for the membrane around our cell wall. And it's this metaphor for a structure that contains the information. It holds the intelligence in, but it also cuts it off a little bit, because once you take that ring off, you have the full expression of the flower of life. And July, you were just shy of this on the right and left sides. I think you need two more layers, like two more rings of circles. So this full expression, right? This is literally 4 rings of circled around the seed, and I believe we do that. If you sign up for all 8, we definitely do the flower. But when you have the full expression, right, that's when you get these 13 circles. And this is called this one's the official fruit of life, where this is the fundamental structure that gives us these 5 shapes, right? These 5 Platonic solids. They all fit into Metatron's cube. They all fit into the flower of life, right? And this is another example of how drawing the geometry speaks to our subconscious mind, right? So we've got 5 elements here. These are 5 shapes. They are the only 5 shapes that adhere to 3 criteria, right? I will get to those criteria in a minute, but the 5 Platonic solids are the tetrahedron, which is the element, it represents the element of fire. We have 5 elements here. The octahedron, which is an 8-sided geometry, represents the element of air. You have the hexahedron, which is the cube, which represents the element of earth. The icosahedron, beautiful 20-sided tetrahedral form, it represents the element of water. And then the dodecagon, which is this beautiful 12-sided pentagonal geometry and represents the element of ether, right? I'm going to get to that in a second. The 3 criteria of these that make them a Platonic solid are that all of the faces of the shape are the same, right? The icosahedron, these are all tetrahedrons or triangles. The dodecagon is pentagon. All the faces are the same. The second criteria is that all the inside angles of the shape are the same. You can see down here on a tetrahedron, all the inner angles are 60 degrees. The square is 90 degrees. And the dodecagon is 108 degrees. And the math in these number sequences is so fascinating. And then the last criteria to make it a Platonic solid is that if you put each shape in a sphere, it would touch the sphere equidistantly, right? So that the measurements are the same. And the thing about the solids, when we talk about the 5 elements, right? The air, fire, water, earth, and ether, right? Like maybe if you're raised in the Hindu tradition or in Chinese culture, they recognized ether, right, as energy, as prana, as chi, life force, right? It's everything. It is the majority of everything. And in our culture, we didn't have it. We had the 4 elements. So energy, space, it's 99.99999% of our reality. And our material world, those other 4 elements are 0.00001% of reality. Like we have been cut off from the majority of the energy source in our reality, right? So Metatron's cube has these 5 shapes that represent all 5 elements. And again, your subconscious mind is recognizing the elemental aspect of the geometry. And so you are bringing these elements, all 5 elements, alive in your system. Again, we're just drawing these nice 2D shapes. It's fun, it's pretty, but so much of us is coming online with this shape. And I'll show you a couple more reasons why. But the significance really, I think, is the dodecagon, right? It's the missing piece. It's been swept under the rug very intentionally. And let me see if I can keep going on some shapes before I go into that story. We've got the names and we've got the criteria, we've got the elements. Okay, I think I covered it. There's so much, and that is just the beginning of the Platonic solids. We will draw, we're going to draw, it's going to be obvious with the tetrahedrons. The octahedron disappears as we're drawing, as does the icosahedron. We'll get the hexahedron, we'll get the 6-sided shape, but we're only going to lay the foundation for the dodecahedron. I'm talking so much. The dodecahedron, right? This is, did I say dodecagon? Did I say dodecagon a second ago? It's all dodecahedron. This is what we're doing this time. This shape is so top secret, right? Like this was mystery school stuff. This shape was like the information was kept under penalty of death, right? Like it was a really top secret deal because it gave you the keys to manipulating space-time, manipulating energy with the dodecagon. I keep doing that, don't I? Dodecahedron. And the dodecahedron is the only shape of the Platonic solids where you have to add in 6 lines. And that was top secret information. So we're going to draw the other 4 Platonics, but it is so mind-boggling to look at that shape and try to add something in this class. We're going to do it in another class, just so you know. We'll just build up to it. So these are the 5 elements. The dodecahedron, top secret, because the information contained in energy could liberate humanity. It can liberate us and our spirit. It can liberate humanity and this illusion of scarcity, right? Because energy is infinite. And if we could tap that, we could liberate ourselves from this illusion of, sphere-based scarcity trip that keeps us fighting each other, and the whole paradigm of our world right now. Oh, it's just so much. I'm jumping all over the place. So Platonic solids can really, we've got keys to liberation in here. They're so cool. They are an infinite, fascinating study within themselves. They nest within each other. That outer, the purple one being the dodecahedron, and then the blue one in there is the icosahedron. The yellow one is the octahedron. The green one in there is the cube, and then inside is the tetrahedron, right? There's just this inner relationship of all of them. And they are hidden in plain sight, right? If you're familiar with these are the dice in Dungeons and Dragons, right? These kids of all ages are just using these dice, having no idea that they're rolling around a dodecahedron and an octahedron, right? And somewhere in their psyche, this stuff is getting in there. But I want to encourage you, like, even if you're not drawing, this is the thought during the week. If you start to notice where it's woven in, because it is really hidden in plain sight. It's everywhere. And I don't know if anyone remembers the movie Contact. It was like late 90s with Jodie Foster. And it was basically based on the work of Carl Sagan and the SETI program, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, where we sent out a signal into space. This was really in science. There's a program called SETI. And then this movie is based on receiving an answer from that SETI signal. And we receive a radio broadcast. Basically, the signal has encoded information on how to build a time travel device. This right here, what you're seeing, is the time travel device. And the sphere is contained within a dodecahedron. Right? Like that is a fascinating choice of geometries, right? So it really is everywhere. The geometry I was drawing is called the tesseract, right? So we'll see where the tesseract is woven in everywhere, in media especially. this is a really cool image, a molecular, slide, if you will, in 2012, that's showing the bond between the atoms of a molecule, right? And normally I would think that this might be photoshopped, right? But the Resonance Academy and Nassim Haramein, who is a cutting edge like physicist, this is their picture. And so this is really amazing stuff to find at the atomic level, a geometric organization that is similar to Metatron's cube, right? It's got that 13-fold geometry and kind of fascinating. Here we go. So this is the way, here's a couple of slides that show how the Platonic solids fit into Metatron's cube, right? On the top left, you've got the tetrahedron, right? Upward facing triangle. And I'm going to use the word tetrahedron to keep encouraging us to think about the 3D, not just triangle, right? So you've got the tetrahedron, then you've got the cube, and my little gallery view is blocking. Then the top right is the icosahedron, right? Element of water. Octahedron on the bottom right. And you can see how it's like, you see it on an angle, right? You're not seeing it full on from a profile. So that bottom half of the pyramid gets cut off. But this is literally two pyramids stacked on top of each other. So that's the octahedron. Oopsies, sorry about that. That's the octahedron. And then the dodecahedron, star of the show in the center. The next round of why this shape is important belongs to the star tetrahedron, which is two tetrahedrons overlaid on top of each other. And this shape is also known as our Merkaba, right? This is our light body. This is the vehicle that we are geometrically. When we drop our spacesuits, when we lose our physical form, we have this geometric light body that is energy rotating. Like if we break it down to the frequency, this is the geometry of our frequency, right? And it's this amazing vehicle, right? And there's esoteric practices of how to activate your Merkaba, how to be in your heart, how to activate this travel device where literally this is a lot of times you hear about orbs and spheres of light that are seen in sacred sites. And a lot of times it's theorized that these are multidimensional beings who have gotten their Merkaba spinning, and it's their little time travel device that they can just zip through wormholes, and they bop around and visit different areas, different energy sites. And so they are their own craft, and there's different practices for how to spin them and how to activate your system. Lots of it has to do with being in the heart, finding a sense of center and balance within yourself, and remembering the fullness, remembering the vessel that you are, so to speak. And it literally is a two tetrahedrons. It's a star, it's a light body. If you imagine us in the center, in this little vessel or vehicle, it is an emanation of our energy field. We drew the electromagnetic last time, and this is the center, originating the exchange, the output and the input of our toroidal field, right? This is an example. This is out of Junvalo Melchizedek's book, the Ancient Secrets of the Flower of Life. And this is part of the practice of how to rotate counterclockwise the tetrahedrons, male, female, and how to generate the energy, right, that would spin the tetrahedron that creates that vehicle, that craft, that device. And this is a geometry that's known, right? This is woven into our psyche, into our the significant cultural iconic imagery, right? It is used in so many ways subconsciously to influence our psyche, influence our decisions, our behaviors, our beliefs, and it's very, very powerful. So reclaiming it, of course, you find it in crop circles, right? It's this beautiful 3D star tetrahedron. This came in 2017. This is such a cool geometry that I don't think I did, that I didn't put it in there. This formation in particular was one of the ones where the technology that makes it literally changes the crystalline structure of the soil so that the next year's crop contains the shape as well, which is so cool. So this beautiful star tetrahedron came back the next day, the next season, in this this 3D image. So beautiful. We're going to draw that a little bit later in the series when we draw the 64 star tetrahedron. That's down the ways a little bit, but we've always seen the geometry is communicated in the crop circle, which is just again to invite the contemplation of, you know, where did we get this information and what is the organizing intelligence behind all of this. You know, how do we know that this is a light body? How could we learn these technologies, right? The geometries are their own form of technology. And so just inviting that deeper contemplation with the shapes and remembering, let me do this one, remembering that they are not only 2D, right? You can see we're going to draw the 2D, but it is the representation of a 3D shape, right? And then not just 3D, but also multi-D, right? We're just scratching the surface of this shape. And we've got the star tetrahedron energy in there. We've got all 5 elements coming on board. And then we've got Metatron. Like, what is that name even? So, taking this deep breath, so much information. Metatron, Archangel Metatron, is one of 2 archangels that had incarnations as human beings. So they are the only 2 that know what a trip it is to be on this planet. And Metatron, when it met, I don't like to say he or she, right? So when Metatron was incarnate in an earth body, he was known as Thoth, right? The Egyptian god, the scribe, the keeper of you know, human records, but also the one who brought us the written language, right, back in Sumeria, like translated the hieroglyphs and what is that? Sumerian text. There's a word for it that I'm just not grasping. Cuneiform, right? All of the ways of the counting, the mathematics, this all came from Thoth, right? There's a very interesting line of intelligence that came through that being. He was also known as Hermes. He was Enoch, right? All of these different incarnations where this divine intelligence was brought to humanity. And then all of those different manifestations ascended into Metatron, who took the element of scribe and applied it to universal consciousness. And that's where we can access the Akashic records, right? The larger records of everything that will be, everything that is, and everything that has been. Like, our little brains can't really conceptualize of this, but the geometries, you know, the phi spiral, the infinite pattern of the phi, the geometries are inviting us to step outside of the limitations, the constructs, right? Like, for us to grok simultaneity and everything that ever was, will be, and has been, let's just try, right? Let's just try to grok some numbers coming up here. I'm going to throw these things at you. And like, it doesn't register, right? We're kind of looking at huge numbers. We're thinking about the potency of the universe. But on some level, a tiny little new neural pathway is cracking open, right? That potentiality is being named, right? So we're just naming the infinite infinities, right? We're trying to open it up because let me just keep jumping back and forth, but I want to tell you, the standard model physics, right, as physics used to be, they in the early stages, they kept getting equations that ended with infinity, that came out like they didn't end. They kept getting these number sequences, and they couldn't anchor any type of empirical data in an equation that ended in infinity, right? And so they needed to box things up. They needed content. They needed material for whatever government purposes, consumer purposes, whatever, the things that need empirical data to be based on. They swept all of the equations that ended in infinity under the rug and called it dark matter. 90%, right? Another like 95% of equations, like, oh, that's dark matter. Don't worry about that. So you have this entire modality based on a falsehood that doesn't incorporate the majority of our reality, right? Which is infinite numbers. So Metatron's cube invites us to contemplate large numbers, specifically the infinite potential of space, right? Space has a geometric structure. And this is where we get back to the idea that the information in Metatron's cube has the ability to liberate us, right? It has the ability to liberate our psyche, because in just a cubic centimeter of space, right, the size of a sugar cube, if you could, with your imagination, compress all of our entire universe into the shape, the size of a sugar cube, cubic centimeter of space, like that volume of energy density in our entire universe, right? That has a numerological representation that's very large. The density of our entire universe is 10 to the 55th degree, right? So that's 10 with 55 zeros on it. We can't really conceive of the size of that, right? If you were to condense the universe into that cubic centimeter. Now, if you were to just measure a single cubic centimeter of space, it has almost double the amount of energy that is in our entire universe. Does that like, if you start to imagine the amount of energy that is in a very tiny amount of space, then if we were beginning to harness the geometry of that space, if we could work with the geometry and harness the energy of space, then you're talking about an infinite source of energy. And an infinite source of energy undoes the illusion of scarcity. There is no limitation of the energy that we need to run our civilization, right? And so when you start to understand that, when you start to build the technology of an infinite source of energy, complete freedom, complete, humanity is unbonded, right? Undoes the chains. But also within, right? When you tap that center of the Merkaba, right? That still point, that is an infinite source of energy within ourselves as well, that we can get through meditation. We can access our own geometry and create our own liberation, right? That goes beyond the confines of this human mind, human condition, human. Okay, it's a lot of information, but hopefully the gist of Metatron's cube is that these shapes represent all of the elements. They represent our Merkaba, our light body. It represents an archangel that can tap us into the Akashic records when you're working with this shape. Somehow your subconscious is registering all of this, and it is so powerful. And we think we've got this little 2D drawing, but really just trust so much is happening when you're drawing this shape. That's it. Just so we know, there's a bunch in this shape as we're drawing it. All right. This is so ridiculous. That's like a 20-minute overview of this incredibly profound shape. Any thoughts or questions before we get into drawing, which we are right around the corner? Let's take a nice deep breath together, shall we? So much information, just releasing with the breath and getting back into our bodies. Breath is how to integrate all of this beyond the mind. There's so much embodied transformation. It's bringing it back to this moment together. Ready to go. Thoughts? Anything before we get into it? Nope. Heads are blown, minds are blown a little bit. Anything? All right. Good. Good to go. Always so much. Maybe one of these days we'll just won't have any of the information. We'll just draw and just do a little citizen science and see what the difference is. And just, I think it's so different when you know all of that, when you know that this shape is symbolic of like massive significance. I think it's important to have that, even though like none of us are going to retain any of that. Like, just flows right through. But the energetic, the knowledge, and the activation is, yeah, we don't have to think about it too much. All right, fair enough. Shall we? Okay. So we have some specific measurements for this shape as well, only for the effort of staying on the page. There's not a specific measurement for this, but we're going to draw the biggest possible shape on our 11 by 14 pad of paper. So what that means is that we're going to put our compasses to an inch wide, right? So we're going to have an inch radius, which is going to give us a 2-inch circle. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, my cat's making distressed noises. 1 inch radius. It's going to give us a 2-inch wide circle. And we're going to do landscape orientation. So wide angle in front of us, wide dimension, position. And we're not at risk for going off the page to the right and the left, but we can go off of the page above and below. So take a moment. We've got this vertical that is the 11 inches. So use your ruler, find the center point of the page by measuring 5.5 inches down from the top. And you can ballpark this, the horizontal, and just ballpark the center of the page, but give it specifics at 5.5 inches on the vertical, so that we stay on the page. 1 second again. Distressing to hear my cat. Okay, so I've got the center of the page, and we're going to go ahead and draw the seed, right? We're just starting with a simple seed, first circle right at the center of the page, and then just building around it. And I will bring up the sequence again. I'm going to send you the PDF. So starting in 1 second. There we go. Bring it up. Space. We don't need space anymore. Contemplating the nature of space, the existential study of reality, fabulous worthy pursuits. All right. I think if I do this, it gets weird, so I'm not going to do that. We're just going to make it big. We are starting with the seed of life in the center of the page. 1 inch on the compass. That's your width, which is going to give us a 2-inch circle, which will give us a 4-inch line shape. So simple, so beautiful. How's it going, Janice? You look like where are you at? Is you good to go? Yeah. Janice, you were paused. I was like, everything okay? It's a very voyeuristic system here where I can see.
Hang on, I forgot to unmute. Okay, so we draw the first circle in the middle, and then where do we find, so the top center?
You've got your center circle, and then you're just the next place that the compass goes is on the bottom vertical, right? So just putting the compass right on the circle at the bottom, basically. And then that's where your second circle comes. And then that gives you the 2 intersection points, and we're going to build to the left. We're going to go clockwise with the shape. Did that clear it up?
Mm-hmm.
Solid.
Yes,
Anybody else leaning into the camera? Joy, how's it going? Leaning in hard there. And you're on mute, so I can't hear you. Will you unmute yourself so I can hear where you're at?
Okay.
All right.
So I've got the top and the bottom. Where do we decide on the side?
Okay. So let's orient together to the bottom circle, right?
Okay.
And then you've got an intersection to the left, right? Where
Okay.
it intersects. Yeah. So choose that point. And that'll
Okay.
be your next circle. And then you've given yourself kind of a big divot intersection above that, right? Yeah. So that's where the compass point, that's where your compass goes next.
Okay.
Okay. And again, it's good to stay oriented to that center circle. So you'll do 2 circles on the left, and then you'll see your top circles there already. Right.
I'm confused. Sorry.
All right. No problem. Is that you, Joy, or is somebody else?
No. Okay, so this is what can you see what I have?
Pull back a little bit. It's hard with the blurred backgrounds.
Oh,
All right, step back. You know what sometimes works is if you hold it back and then, you're going to take your background off. Okay, great. Joy, is that coming along with the other circles?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm having compass issues again.
I know it's tricky. Well, just take your time. We're not going anywhere fast. All right, Janice, you're moving the backgrounds.
yeah, I can't figure out how to do that.
I know. Let me try this. Sometimes this works. Hold the paper up and hold it on a diagonal facing upward. Sometimes that tricks it. Hold it up a little bit. Nope, that's not working. Which part can you describe to me where
Okay,
you're
so I have the original, and then I did the one on the bottom, and then I did the one on the left, but I'm trying to figure out how so where do I go for the 4th circle?
right? So you've got the center when you went below, and then you
Right.
drew a 3rd circle, right? And you created an intersection point right on the top. That's where the circle that you just
So it's the left circle and the original circle intersection point.
perfect. Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And you're just going to keep creating every circle creates the new intersection point. And then that's your guide. That's your guideline. Is that
Okay, I think I've got it.
okay? Solid. We're not
Thank
going
God.
anywhere, because the thing is if everyone's, if you've got the seed already and you're hanging out while we're all working out the process, that's your invitation to breathe again, right? That is your invitation to sit with this shape that is the reflection of you. This is our cellular structure, right? Breathe into it, embody it, notice like what happens when you do that, right? And we don't have to go fast. That's part of why it works to do this in a group, right? I got a lot of compasses still moving here. Joy, is it working out even? Do you want to try spinning the paper underneath? It really is easier than the wrist thing until you get it.
I bought this really fancy compass and it's driving me crazy.
I know, right? My little cheapies are $2 a pop and they last and they're easy. So, however it works though, it really does take practice. But if you're feeling a little, stuck, spinning the paper is a way to bypass that. All right, Janice, where you at?
I've got it.
Right on. Well done. Okay, everybody else got the seed? We're breathing as we're making sure Joy's got it. All right, gotta be thumbs up. And I think I've mentioned this before, but there really isn't any pace, right? One of the things that is so important to me, as that psychotherapy background, right, is the group process. So everyone's pace is really valuable, because if we've got one person coming up behind others, then that's giving others a chance to breathe breathe and not pick up your phone. Breathe and stay here. Breathe into this. Give yourself a minute, right? And it's all so powerful. And so nobody's pace is off or wrong or too slow, because it's all an opportunity at every moment, right? How's it working out, Joy? Is it coming?
Yeah, it's the compass that I'm having trouble with.
Yeah.
It moves and all that. It's fine. Keep going. I'll catch up.
How many circles do you have, real quick, just so I know?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe.
All right, that's what you want. You want that seventh one at that big divot, and then you've got the seed. Now, what I'm gonna tell you is that we've got 12 more circles. So, if I really want you to give a shot for spinning the paper, and you can work
I
on
tried that. I'm
Yeah.
trying that.
that's the way to do it if it's really
It's-
feeling.
it's done.
No, takes practice.
I'm gonna try a different compass.
Okay. Plus, it's a smaller shape. So the last piece about pacing, and then we'll get right into it. We're going to get into the ruler next. We're done with the compass for a minute. Oh, not very long though. Sorry. The thing about pace is that our culture, our civilization, just blows past everybody's process. Keep up, produce, go fast. We're going to leave it behind, right? So to have a process where we go, no, everybody's valuable. There's like a huge meta message in that, and we do it to the best extent that we can. If we can't keep everybody up, then of course we'll just there'll be other processes when we're alone and drawing by ourselves. So I know that there are limits to total inclusion, but we do try as far as fast as we can and as slow as we can. So Joy, you got the seed?
I'm good enough. Keep going. I'll do it.
Oh, all right.
Sure.
Gotcha. Okay. So now we've got, we're coming into the ruler, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to make 9-inch lines, right? And what that means is you're going to use the inside petals for your guidelines, right? So you're going to bisect the shape. We're going to start on the vertical. You're going to take a 9-inch line, which means you want the 4.5-inch point to line up with the center of the circle. Right? So 9 inches total. You're going to bisect the shape using the petals. Just pay attention to go with the petals, not in between them. You want to use those inner petals as your guidepost for where to put the line. And it's going to be a 9-inch line, which means the center of it, the 4.5-inch mark, is going to line up right there in the middle of the shape. So you're going to get this beautiful symmetrical shape that cuts a 6-sided shape in half 3 times. And if if you're familiar with the shape, it's a really great thing to practice with precision. Like once you've got the technique and you know how to build it, it's familiar. Really take a minute and just go into precision, like getting yourself really tight at the intersections, because that actually does make it kind of takes it to the next level. But as we're first starting off and you're just getting where the lines go, don't even worry about precision. Part of what I love about this class, about the geometry, I think somebody mentioned it earlier. I think it was Rieko was talking about, looking at the center of the dodecagon. You can draw this geometry completely like imperfect, right? Completely not precise, completely imprecise, and you're still going to get the geometry, right? You're going to get close enough to hit home. So once again, the inner practice of releasing the judge, releasing the critic, right? That's important here. Does everybody have the lines? Looks like we've got most everybody. Looks good. All right. I teach a class here in person in Sedona, and I really love being in person because all I have are the heads up and heads down on the class. So I'm going to go with the next step. Who's with us? Who's gonna, okay. All right. So Joy, are you good with?
Fine.
Okay. I'm gonna honor your process, and I'm gonna help us all along, and you can watch, and then it'll be more familiar when you're going and doing it at home.
Right.
It's so different to do it with a class and feel the pressure. It really is. And then you go on, but you see it, it's the group effort. So compass points goes right at the intersection where the circle and the line meet. So right there on top, you've got your top circle and their intersection again showing us, right? You're going to put your compass point there, and then you're going to make another circle, which looks like this, right? That single circle intersects with the seed. It's right on top. And then you're going to do that 5 more times on every line. You're going to get that step where you're going to put your compass point right at that intersection of the circle and the line. we just did that one on the top. So you've got 5 more intersection points, and it's gonna look like this. Let me get right, compass point going at that intersection. Have everybody, is that not making sense? Majority. Let me know if you don't have it, if I need to back up 5 more times. Again, here's the play with precision, right? Because maybe the circles touch each other, you know, maybe they're giving each other like a little smooch, but maybe not, right? The odds are that they're not touching, or that they're overlapping, or that there's, you know, a gap. Just, yeah, just say thank you. Just say thank you for the imperfection and the opportunity, right? And as you do more and more over time, this is a place where you can kind of fudge and play with the circles and get the circles to line up. And maybe that means that your compass point isn't right on the line. You can play around as you get better and better with it. But for this round, awesome if you've got circles touching precisely, but perfect also if you don't. Okay. We got a couple people down still. Somebody in my house is making a dinner that smells really good because it says dinner time. All right, taking a step back, looking at it and breathing, right? If nothing else, we'll just oxygenate our brains over the 2-hour period. All right, Susan, how's it going? You got it? All right, thumbs up. Let's see, Janice, thumbs up. All right, hang on a second. I don't have these. All right, Janice, thumbs up or no? We good?
No, I don't know what I did.
Well, I sure
I'm-
wish we could get you off Blur, because then I could
I'm
watch
lost.
your-
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're off Blur.
Am I?
Yeah. Are you? No, you're not. Okay. All right. If you could find yourself off that, I could get you back on track. Are you on Blur or not? Yeah, you are in the background.
I don't know how to.
Can you?
Got it.
You got it? Woohoo. Oh,
Yeah.
fabulous. Show me what you got.
Okay. So this is what I,
Pull it back a little
there we
bit.
go.
Okay. All right. Yeah, perfect. You're just missing the line that cuts on the diagonal, right?
Oh,
Yeah, you're just
Am I-
missing that line. Mm-hmm.
I'm missing that one
Yeah.
that goes across.
Here, yeah, you have 2 bisecting lines and you want 3. Here, see, you're missing just one of the diagonals. Got it?
Now I have one. Now I have 2 on each. I have 2 on each side, but I don't think they're in the right place.
Okay, hang on a second. All right, pull it back a little bit. Oh, that's what you did. So you went in between the petals. So go ahead and erase that last funky line, right? That one's great. Now use the
This
petal.
one?
Yeah, that one. Erase that line. And then if you can look at the shape, you have 2 open petals on one diagonal, right?
Sorry.
That's okay. Can you see the 2 petals that I'm referencing? You have 2 open petals. Yeah. Yep. All right. So you've, all right. Give
There.
me exactly. So use that inner, they are the, it's the 8:30 and the 2:30 on a clock, right? It's that diagonal. There's 2 open petals. It's on, if you're looking at the face of a clock in the vertical, and 12 and 6 and 9 and 3.
How long are the lines? What's the length?
9 inches.
Thank you.
And then the 4.5 mark
Right.
lines up with the center.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember what the.
Yep. And don't worry, because it'll be on the PDF. Janice, did you find it?
No, I'm sorry. I'm completely lost. Go ahead and I'll figure it out.
Okay, we will we'll make sure to clear it up. How about that if we don't do it tonight?
Okay.
All right, we'll work it out and make sure you get it.
I don't want to hold everybody else up, so
Okay, sometimes the pressure of doing it in the classes.
I'm just, I'm completely lost.
Yeah. All right. Well, then watching along will make it more familiar the next time that you do it, when you're doing it at home, right?
Right.
So, okay. So we've got compass point we've created a single standing circle, or sorry, the next round of circles, right? And then we did that on all the lines. So everybody's got this shape. Now we're going to do a top secret trick, right? Instead of putting the compass down, you're going to put the pencil point here at the intersection of the line and the circle, the outer boundary that we drew. And then your compass point is going to fall right on the line, right? And that's going to give you a single standing circle, just like that, right? And the line, the length of the line, that might be longer than the compass width, right? That 9 inches is like, gives a little buffer. It's not quite 9, it's a little bit shorter than it. So pencil point goes right on the intersection of the circle. And then your compass point is gonna follow suit and go find itself on the line. And then that will give you this freestanding circle. And then like before, you wanna do 5 more and go all the way around. Right. Greta, did you catch that point or had you stepped out? Oh, and you're on mute. It just looked like you walked out for a snack or something, so I wanted to make sure you got that step, or if you already done. Greta, no? Okay, because I can't tell because you're on mute, so okay.
Sorry, I was muted. So I just put the pencil on the intersection and then do a circle out.
Yeah, the compass finds itself on the line, and then you're going to do it 5 more times to look like this.
Okay, I can do that. Thank you.
Right on. That is a great attitude. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you see my screen? Is this a matter or it doesn't matter?
1 second. Let me spotlight you.
Not
Pull it
straight.
back a little bit. You have it just right. Yep.
It's
yep,
not kind of tilted, but it just matter? Doesn't matter.
You've got it just perfect. Yeah, pull it back a little bit. You're doing
No,
great.
it's not straight, but it's just okay because it was more like a line this way.
Yeah, what that means is you just started your seed at it. You started the second compass at a different place, but you're doing the same thing. It is. It's just on a different angle. Yeah.
Okay, it's no problem. Good.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you want to do that step that we just did 5 more times, right? So you're going to get this shape. So you do that, basically you do that same step on all the lines that we're pointing, that we're extending out, right? So you're gonna finish those up with circles. And you want to make sure you're attending, like really pay attention to where the pencil's going, you know, that it's that outer intersection, right? It's easy to get confused in here. I'm thinking everybody's got it, but we've got this round gives us 13 circles. All right, Susan, that is a very accomplished maneuver. Fabulous. The compass up and the satisfied look down is what I get for happy success. And I'm not no rush, but once you've got your shape, go back, use your compass and go back to find the center points, right? Find the center points because some of the lines do extend beyond the center point. So find the center point, erase the little bits on the end that go past the center point, and give all of the center points a little darkened nod, right? Just darken them in a little bit on that outer ring, and then do the same thing, darken in the center points of that inner ring. I'm going to leave this up. Don't rush. We're not going to go anywhere because the next step is we're getting into the shapes the next time. So if you've got that outer rings, and we're just cleaning up the edges and the bits, right? Get everybody going. Right. Working on it. It's perfect. And it really is just something to do this, you know, with a group and kind of have that pressure. It's totally intense, but it is so valuable. In so many ways. So wonderful for everybody sticking in it. Nope, sticking with it and hanging in there is what I was going for. And we're gonna be finding the next shapes by using the dots. So that's why we want to darken them in. These are the center points of all the circles, and we're going to be connecting the dots of all the centers. So, Gabby, how's it feel? You done one in a while? How's it? What do you think? I know. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
All right.
It's cool. I totally forgot like about this shape, and I feel like I see it a lot, on like album covers for bands or just like out in a crystal shop on like a grid.
Yep.
And yeah, it's cool to learn how to draw this.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Immediately, I'm like thinking ahead, and I need to just stay in the present. I'm like thinking, oh yeah, after class, I'm just gonna draw this again.
Oh, nice.
But
Nice.
wanting to stay in the present and draw it now is, I think, more appropriate for me.
That is tricky, profound spiritual practice right there. Yeah, to notice your pattern, right? Then you can, the more you're able to practice while you're drawing, then the more applicable that's going to be to the rest of life when we want to zoom past it and not be in the moment. Ooh, life.
Yeah, and you're totally so smart for figuring all these out and being able to teach this. It's just incredible.
I didn't figure it out at all. But thanks. I learned too. Oh, thanks. That accolade, that was beautiful. But I was motivated to learn it. I will claim that. I will claim the dedication to stick with it and learn these, and then be so excited about it that I get to share in your excitement about it, right? That we get to do it together, and that's part of what I love and appreciate about the geometry, that it brings us together. So I'm going to take that though, Zabby, being in the moment. We're going to do that.
Yeah. I lost it. Oh, there everybody is. I was like, I lost everybody. Where did?
No, I want to just keep the image up. So yeah, looks like, all right. Thumbs up, everybody, for the most part. All right, thumbs up. And Joy and Janice, rock on for your efforts.
Got it.
Your patience. You got it right.
I got it.
Okay, well done. Sometimes it'll be so interesting because there's this like initial struggle, and then it like opens up, and
Yeah, it was kind of yeah.
But if oh, there goes my water. If the compass just isn't coming online yet, it is hard when you've got the pace of everyone doing stuff. So Joy, way to hang in there, and it's going to get easier. And
So do you have any suggestions on where to buy that compass that I see people using? Because these things that I've got keep sliding.
yeah, sometimes they do that. Greta, where did you get yours?
I got mine at Columbia Art. So
Yeah.
The same kind I've got. Where's that one that's got the metal one? I've seen you on the screen. Somebody's got one. It's got a metal arc with the inches marked on the arc.
Yeah, that one you can find online. That's my favorite one. Yeah, Leanne's got it.
That one.
Yeah, that's like
online. Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon, or you could try Staples. They usually have them.
Okay, I think that's what I keep looking for. That's what we got in 4th grade or whatever, right?
They work so well. Leon's a believer. Those are the ones I use. So, all right. Okay, so we've got that. That's going to go better. Now, everybody's got their colored pencils handy, hopefully. I'm thinking they're around somewhere. If you don't, no problem. Go ahead and choose 3 colored pencils. 2 guiding suggestions. One is don't use yellow unless you really, really want to, and you have to.
I used yellow that last time.
Yeah, it's awesome, but it's harder to see the shape. So if you choose 3 contrasting colors, that's the best way to make your Metatron's cube pop. All right. So we're gonna see how far we get here. We ready? First color, first shape. We're gonna do hexagons, right? So we're gonna be drawing the outer boundary, right? We're gonna connect all of the outer dots, right? You're just using that first color, connecting the dots on the outside. We're making the outer hexagon boundary, the 6-sided hexagonal geometry. But then it's going to be cut in half, and it's going to make a cube in a minute, right? So this is the hexahedron. This is the element of earth, And so we are grounding in our bodies somewhere, combination of breath and body and fire is going to be generating our system, stimulating our entire physicality. And then, of course, the dodecahedron is woven into this shape etherically as well, and on the material world. But right now, it's going to stay in the etheric for us. There is a class on the dodecahedron, so we will build on this. But tonight, it's too much. You'll see. So, outer hexagon, all 6 sides, right? Now we're going to move into, wow, there's so many animals in my room right now. We're going to move into the inner hexagon. I think I'm going too fast. Don't let me rush you. Once you've got that outer hexagon, sorry, it looks like some pens are still down. No problem. You're going to have this, right? This is the hexagon we've got. Okay. So that's the outer boundary. Now we're going to find the inner hexagon, right? There's an outer one and there's an inner one, smaller one. Parallels the outer one, and you're connecting the inner points of the circle, right? They have so many animals in here. That's amazing. So,
Thaddy, is that we're doing one color for the hexagon?
yes, thank you. Thank you, Joni. Same color because we're still working on the hexagons. Of course, you can do anything you want, but this is to make all of the shapes stand out in their, similarity. So the hexagons will be one color, the tetrahedrons will be one color. All right. So now we're getting into the metaphysics, right? The as above, so below, as the universe, so the soul, this parallel reality, right? And we've got these 2D hexagons. Right? Kind of cool in and of their own right. But we're going to pop them into the 3D. And once we've got heads more up, I'm going to show you the next step. I don't want to rush you. Leanne, do you remember the next step? Yeah, well, you're on mute, so I can't hear your fun thing, whatever you're saying.
No, I don't.
No, all right.
I'm kind of just going with the flow here, liking it. Okay.
I love that. I love that. Staying in the present moment with Zabby and going with the flow with Leanne. The professionals here coming back for it, giving us the real teachings. I love it. We will partner the real teachings with some structure. Ready? Here we go. Using the same color, we're going to darken in those 3 central lines. Same color, darken them in, and this is going to give you that real cube element. It's going to really give you some dimensionality. Before they were hexagons, and now we're popping them into another dimensional reality. And this is a really great way to play with your perceptual ability, right? We're gonna do that tesseract. We're gonna get to the one that I drew, right? This is fundamentally the one that I showed you that I'm drawing. This is the basic structure for it. And just play with looking at the cube, finding the cube. If you don't see it, it's just, again, it just takes practice. But starting to go back and forth between that inner sugar cube and the outer cube, you are building new neural pathways. And at this point, we're probably a little more altered than we realize because we are working with perfect symmetry, and it is bringing the hemispheres of our brain online. So much is happening here. Okay, so if we've got this next color, we're going into tetrahedrons. Does anybody need another minute? You have to jump in verbally because I can't see everybody. It looks like.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Up. Excellent. So second color. Now we're doing an upward facing triangle. Right. This is actually also the icosahedron, but it's hard to see the way we do it. So connecting every other point now, right down and across on the diagonal, just building a big triangle. Right? I'm just calling it a tetrahedron. We can't see the point in the back, but this is a 3-dimensional shape, right? Cube, the tetrahedron, upward facing triangle. And now, or the second step is we're going to get into that Merkaba, right? We're going to do a downward facing triangle. It's going to connect the points that we left open here. No rush, no pressure, because we are bringing our light body on board with this. It's subtle, it's real, there's pattern recognition, and some part of you is lighting up going like, oh, there it is, it's a homecoming. I remember this, right? So downward facing triangle, upward facing triangle, there is your star tetrahedron.
Same color.
Same color. We're doing all the tetrahedrons in the same color so they stand out. Perfect. And again, if you get to this point and heads are still down in your gallery view, take a breath. Look at that thing. Feel it. See if you can feel it, right? We've got this left brain like, oh, here's the technique. I draw this line here. But there's the feeling component. Breathe into that thing. See what happens. Notice your system. Does anything happen? Is nothing happening? Because that's fine too. It's just bringing on that witness, right? Star tetrahedron, just like the hexagon now, same color. We had that outer large hexagon, then there's an inner smaller hexagon. Same thing with the tetrahedron. We've got a larger outer one. Now we're going to find the small inner one, right? So in the tiny hexagon in the center, there's an upward facing triangle that matches and mirrors perfectly that outer large one we just did. Same color, so that all the tetrahedrons are doing their own thing. So, got it. Now, right there is another octahedron. We can't, our brains can't do that yet, but just, you got that upward facing triangle, this beautiful parallel between that one and the outer. It's just the symmetry there. So exquisite. Right, so upward facing triangle. And if you're on board already, then you know that we're going to do a downward facing triangle in there as well. Anybody tell me if I'm going too fast, right? Just take a peek, look up, look back down. You'll find it with a little bit of time. And once you're on your own doing this again, it'll just look familiar. You'll see the video or you'll see the PDF and it won't be a brand new thing. Okay, yeah, that seems right. Yeah. Okay. And we'll slow down. Right. Looking good. Got some heads nodding. Looking like we have it. Okay, heads are nodding. All right. Third color. We're going to give the foundation for where the dodecahedron would go. All right. Third color. Take a nice deep breath. You can do this. Now we're going to go from the outer point down and across to the inner circle point. So what you're using that inner star, the tips of the inner star that we just did, that's your guidepost, right? You're going to come from the outer center down and across to the inner center, this ring of circles, and the inner star point is going to be your marker for where you want to end. Now this shape does not have an end. We're not going to complete it. There's not a third line. It's just two open lines, right? Starting from the top and coming down and across to the bottom. Now it is scrambling. This is what I mean, like with the altered state, right? We are aligned in ways that we're not used to. So there's a lot of lines. That's doing perfectly right, right? So you've got that and everybody's got that. Everybody, is it working out? You found this? All right. Because we're going to go ahead, right? Do it again 5 more times. All right. So you're going to go do that same step from every point on the outside. Oh, brilliant. It's actually working now. Yep. And, there's just all sorts of fun things. Like you can, once you get this shape, you can like erase the circle. It's hard though to erase them, but you can see like you get this bright, shiny geometry. And the circles are kind of in the background here, right? This is super linear, right? This shape is just hardcore lines. But you need all of these lines in order to add the 6 more lines that make the dodecahedron top secret information. It would be too much to try to do that right now, so we do it. Right. Looks like it's working out. It's such a I'm so split about it because look, I can hang out with you guys teaching geometry. You're in Portland, I'm in Sedona. That is a benefit of doing it online. But my little class here in Sedona, it is so wonderful to walk around in the classroom and just be together. And, you know, we've got the quantum field, so we're together in that way, but it'll be different. All right. I can go back. Here's what you want to do is if you are wondering if you've got all of them, from an outer point, if you count 7 lines, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's going to tell you if you've got all the lines you need from all the points. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. From all the points. Easy to miss a few lines right now. I'm so excited to see everybody's geometry. Like heads are still down, so I'm going to move ahead. If you've got the shape, a good solid breath. Seed. Here we right. All 5 elements. Merkaba, star tetrahedron, Metatron, Archangel, Colin, and the Akashic records. That's actually happening right now, even though it looks like we've got this 2D shape in front of us. And in that process, I'm going to come off of screen share. In that process of trying to remember how much is in that shape, you are creating a multi-dimensional reality. When you remember that it's a 3D shape, right? We saw that silver one with the light shining through it. We're drawing the 2D. This is actually a 3D cube, but it's actually a shape flipping in and out of time. And we are inviting and expanding a new level of consciousness when we're drawing the shape. So much is happening. We can't even believe. All right. Anybody need the shape up again? Okay. Yeah. Was that a yeah, Susan? Okay. It's a little mime. There you go. Right. You can see why I encourage contrasting colors, right? It makes it a little easier to see it. And I finally figured out to, you know, take yellow out of the picture, even though you, obviously you can, it just makes it a little harder. All right. You got 7 lines from each point. Yep. All right. Yeah, 7 from each point. And counting is a good way to find it. All right. And then I'm going to come off screen share and we'll do a little show and tell. I want to encourage everyone to show and tell. But if you want to say like you're going to pass, no problem. All right. I'm coming out. Great. All right. Who would like to start us off? Okay. Oh God, hang on. My cat is going to topple my entire media system here. All right. Anybody want to start us off?
I'll go.
All right, Greta, hang on. Let me spotlight you. Oh, wait. Sorry. I thought that was. Oh, Janice. Sorry. Okay.
That's all right.
Greta, you're on mute. So, Janice, how about you go? Yeah. All right. Janice, the brave. What? Oh, right on. Look at that. Started out feeling like you were lost. What do you think?
Yeah, I was lost. Yeah,
But then
thank
you
you.
yeah. What do you think?
I like it. It's fun.
Yeah. Super accomplishment when you
Challenging.
started out, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Way to hang in there with the process. Brilliant. Oh, you look lit up. That's great. Any observations in the process?
Challenging. But I feel really good. I figured it out.
Nice. Challenging, perseverance, and success, right? Nice. All right. Thanks for starting us off. That was sharp. That is super sharp. All right. Greta's jumping in hardcore here. Let me spotlight you. Hang on. Oh, wow. There's so much going on in there. Tell us about that, please. Will you unmute yourself? Wow. Oh, you unmuted and then went back on mute. There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it's the three colors and, well, just a second. I have a thing in front of me.
All right.
Mm.
And just hold it back a little
Okay,
bit. 'Cause
there we
that
go.
one-
Let's see.
yeah, there you go. That's the right distance. Yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
All right. So thoughts? Oh, geez.
So, you know, I like seeing the different shapes with the contrasting colors. And
Yeah.
so I picked colors that would, I mean, the green wasn't a spectacular pick, but otherwise it was good to just, I mean, it helps, I think, to draw to just see the contrast.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was fun.
Nice. Your points are sharp, right? You've got these beautiful convergences that are super tight. It's really so interesting because it's the same shape, but everybody's is so different.
Yeah, everybody's is different, but yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Who's next? Joni, you look so intense. How are you doing? Would you be up for going next? How's it going?
Good. I think I took it off blur. And by the way, I figured out how to take it off blur.
Okay.
So next to where it says stop video, which is next to mute,
Mm-hmm.
there's a little up arrow and there's
Yeah.
a check mark. So just uncheck that.
Awesome. All right. Woo! Look at that. What do you think?
I think it's great. I'm staring at it a lot and I'm waiting for 3D to pop out, and it's only sometimes doing that yet.
Yep.
I'm
It'll
just
take a
gonna
minute.
sit with it for a bit though.
Yeah. Very cool. Another really cool thing. God, it's beautiful. Another really cool, strangely cool thing to do is take a picture with your phone, and it's going to look completely different. Not quite.
Well, that's why I was just looking at it. I'm not to be all showing it on again, but looking at it just on the
Yep.
the
Wait, give it
computer,
to
it looks different than in my personal view. Yeah.
Totally right. It's a completely different experience. It's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. Good. Well done. All right. Who's up? Let's see. Leanne, are you jumping in? Is that an off mute arm? All right.
There we go. Okay.
There we go.
That was a fun experience. I lost my vision right in the beginning.
What?
It was kind of, I had to refocus and then I lost a couple lines. This is one of my favorites to draw, so I'm going to have fun this next week working on it.
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah.
But
beautiful.
yeah, to fine tune it. And I have to comment, I would love to come to an in-person class. That would be just a whole different experience. So I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll be up there in Portland and drop in for a single or something like that. But it is so different, and so it's just different. It's its own kind of fun. I would love to do a class with you, Leanne. That would be so fun.
Well, I came to Sedona last April, but I was just there for one day, or I would have tried to connect. It's a busy place, so
busy. One day is hard, but yeah, next time.
There we go.
Oh, fun.
Oops.
From your distance, however you held it, kind of speaking to what Joni was saying, I could see a lot of dimensionality in yours for whatever reason. From that distance, it's super popped, but it does take a minute to see the different shapes and but that's new neural pathways. I mean, seriously, that's what's happening. All right, Rieko, am I saying your name right, Rieko? Okay.
So,
all right.
my head is kind of spinning because this is not straight.
It's what?
My head is spinning because this is not straight. So I'm always thinking about this way, and then, since I didn't start it then straight, so it was a little bit difficult. But anyway,
you did it, and it's there's something profound in that in your process there of like just reorienting again and again. That is really cool. I've not seen that happen, that where it's a different orientation, and all that means is that you started a little bit in a different spot for the second circle on the seed. That's all that means. And that's why we all start at the same place, because otherwise it's like oh, I have to pivot my eyes when really I'm doing it just right. But to put it in the context of everybody else.
This is not straight because of it was a little bit difficult to focus. Where should I put the line? But Anyway, I did it.
It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Darn it. I was gonna say you said something at first. Oh, can't remember. But how's it feel? How do you notice a feeling with it?
Yeah. So once again, it is difficult
Mhm.
to see
Yeah.
because of my color choices.
Uh-huh.
Probably, yeah. Somehow, some of my brain is hitting some nerves or whatever. Anyway, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. New neural pathways. Just make sure you are. In fact, I'm going to demand it. What do you like best about it? What do you like best about it?
I don't know.
Yeah. Can you try to find something? Because that's the balance point, right? We are always going to see what we don't like, but for me, looking at
So-
it, the balance point.
So
Yeah.
one of my really fascinating things that I did was once again, if I draw this way,
Yeah.
probably my brain recognize the shape more.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow I put, how can I say? I put the first and second circle
Mm-hmm.
is not lined and
Mhm.
not even here. So because of that, my brain is kind of has a question. I don't know how can I explain, but anyway, I never start to do this line. It's not like a lined. This is when you see the straight this way,
Mm-hmm.
this.
Uh-huh.
So because of that, like, yeah, it was a little bit difficult even seeing.
I get it. You're a little wonked from doing it on that angle.
Yes.
I get it. All right. Well, if it was me and I was finding the positive, I would say that was like extra credit PhD to add an angle to it. So that's like next level accomplishment that you pulled that off and that you're, articulating the wonk that it created. Isn't that powerful, right?
It is.
Yeah,
It is
that's part of the
really
power.
powerful. And then yeah, once again, if it's lined, probably I will sing little bit calm down to see this shape. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Very cool. Very well done. Way to add a new twist or a new angle. All right, thank you. We got a few more. Who's coming in next? We got Joy, Susan, and Zabby, right? All right. Let's see.
Here we go. I don't know.
Okay, Susan, lay it out. Here we go.
It just looks confusing to me.
Pull it back a little bit. Pull it back.
Yeah.
All right, it looks confusing, but what else?
No. I don't know. It's
If
The-
nothing else, yep, go ahead. Sorry.
well, obviously the lines are off and different thicknesses of things and stuff like that. So that is just annoying to me, but
Oh yeah, I heard. How about can you feel into the fact that you just did it?
yeah, I did it, but
Yeah,
I'm assuming it's correct.
it's correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Do it again.
correct. Yep, again. But I was going to offer this to Rieko also, which is like, look at what you just did. Even though you're finding the imperfections, you just did a massive thing. Like, we looked at the beginning of the PowerPoint, you're like, there's no way I can draw that. You just drew it. That is fabulous. All right, maybe. All right. Thanks, Susan. Well done. It looks really good. It's
Well, also I chose a color that it was light green, but when I drew it, it was looking more yellow, which is not a good choice. So, and I went
yeah,
back
it
over it
disappears.
with, so.
Yeah. Looks beautiful though. Really beautiful. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. We got Zabby and Joy. Joy, how you doing? How's it? And you're on mute, so make sure we do that first.
Turn on my voice.
There you go.
I don't chew gum and walk. And so it's really helpful to me to just watch.
Yeah.
When I go on my own, I'll be fine, but it was really good. I took some screenshots of different ones, and especially when I get a new compass, I'll be fine. But I can't do the two things at once. I can't draw and listen to you, and my brain
Well,
does.
yeah, that creates like a great layered learning where you're observing, you're seeing it, and then the next time it is more familiar, and you're like, okay, yeah, this is what we're doing. I know it's right. But yeah, juggling a compass that's not flowing it's an obstacle for sure. But beautiful that you hung in there, and I look forward to seeing it next week when we see. No pressure, but if it works out.
I'll do it.
All right, good, thanks. All right, ma'am. Last but not least, what do you got?
Okay, so I'm on my
Alright.
second one, and I'm almost done with it.
All right.
And I like the way it's coming out. It's coming out better. I just have two more of the over here triangles to do. I don't remember any of this. I thought, I was like, what the? This is so weird. I don't remember doing any of this, but so this is the one I did with everybody in the class.
Oh yeah, just sharp. Yeah.
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 And I did it
last.
last year. I did it with yellow colored pencil.
It might have been the learning moment that I figured it out.
It was.
Yeah.
And I don't know if like you specifically said don't do it with yellow, or yellow was all I had.
No, I think that moment with you and the yellow was where I started saying to everybody, don't use yellow.
Yeah.
Because it's a hang up. Yeah. So thank you for that.
It's just, this is just so, I don't remember any of this. I thought for some reason we filled it in with, a square and a triangle. And I remember going back like in the middle of this year trying to do it without any directions, and it came out totally fudged. And I was like, how the heck was this done again?
Yeah.
And like the email got lost in my student email. So it's like, oh my gosh, this is cool.
Yeah.
And what I really liked was watching everybody else show theirs first. I think it's so cool how all of us are in a different house or a different place, but we're all able to come together and create the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. And then taking that breath. Yeah. You can close your eyes and you can almost kind of see what you just did with your eyes closed. You're like, I just did that. I made that line.
Right? Ah, beautiful. Yeah. Right? We're all doing the same shape, but we're at distances and we're all in our own places, and the breathing at the different levels of it. That'd be beautiful. It is so cool that it's just never the same class twice. It's that you don't remember any of it, which makes sense. And by the way, just to remind you, you had so much going on, so it totally makes sense that you don't remember it. But it's constantly reflecting our consciousness and where we are. So, amazing to do this all with you. I will echo Zavi's observation. Like, it's the same geometry, but it's so unique. All of us, our own personalities, you can see how it shows up. And it is so powerful when you're actually drawing it and you're starting to see that. So I want to encourage you to make some time to do that. It's what I actually like to do is after a class is done, if I look at my calendar and I actually put here's an hour, I'm going to give myself an hour on Sunday afternoon, right? You're just kind of programming it in so you don't even have to think about it. Because it does take time, right? Everything is choice. There is another way to draw this geometry, but I'm going to just include that. We're going to do that. I'm just going to include that when I send the email, and I'm going to show it to you really quick because we have a minute. We might go 1 second over. I also am finding it, and then I will. Here we go. I'm going to pull it up, and then I will screen share it. Now I got to get back to you, and then I'm going to screen share. This is a different experience, right? You all know now that we can draw a single circle, right? It would be the exact same measurement. In order to stay on the page, you just start in the center again, but we're only drawing a circle. This way it doesn't have the seed, right? So you draw that center circle, and then you're putting your compass just like we do on the bottom, but you're just making a light half arc, right? And now you've got 2 points, which is what you need to give yourself a straight line, right? So you've got 2 points, and you draw in, you know, that would be the 9-inch line again. And now you've given yourself another intersection up here. This is where your compass point would go. Compass point goes there, and you make another half arc, and then that gives you 6 compass points, right? You've now got 6 intersection points, and those become the guidelines for the 3 bisecting lines, right? So now you recognize those 3, but we've done it. You don't have the seed in the center, right? So it's a different look, also a different feel. So here we do that trick of pencil point going at the intersection, compass point falls on the line. And just like before, that gives you a standing circle, and you do it 5 more times, and the shape looks like this, right? And I'm going to give you this PDF as well. You don't have to remember any of this. And then you do that same step again, same thing, pencil point goes on the intersection there, and then the compass point falls on the line, and that gives you that single standing circle. And you're going to do that 5 more times, and there's the shape that we did before, but it doesn't have the seed. It feels completely different, right? And there's the hexagons, and then you just build on that, but it looks very different, right? There's our tetrahedrons. We'll do the center ones, and then all of a sudden you've got the geometry, but without the seed. And I want to encourage you to give that a try. Very different feeling, and just like compare. But it is a little bit faster, but I like to show going in through the seed to show you, like, you know, how the seed is really the everything. All right. Let's close with a breath together, like a nice deep breath of gratitude, just grounding, feeling each other, feeling yourself, feeling your body, breathing, and feeling yourself as part of this group, part of this amazing collective of humans. Be feeling that in your heart, feeling yourself, feeling everyone through your heart, having that feeling of gratitude for this experience. Thanking yourself for showing up, thanking everyone for showing up. It is a pleasure and an honor to be with you all, and I will send the recording. It usually takes about a half an hour to process. I will send the PDFs. Please let me know if you don't get them in the next day or two, because I send them out either tonight or tomorrow. So if you don't see them, reach out to me. I think we're all on board with how to get them now. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week. Happy drawing.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody.